Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this one today. There's so many places to spend your time on the internet, and you guys decided to click on this video and spend it with me checking out some awesome music. We are heading into July. That means we are done with Q2 of 2021. There is a lot to talk about, so stick with me. Check out some awesome music, probably some stuff that you haven't heard before. Hopefully you find something really awesome by the end of this video. If you guys do enjoy this video, it would be so helpful if you hit that thumbs up button down below. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button with that bell notification to be up to date with everything that we are releasing here at For The Rock. These are all my opinions. Every one of you is probably going to have a different opinion, and that is okay. These are my choices of what I thought was great. Without much further ado, let's dive in. This is the top 10 Christian metal and rock releases of Q2 of 2021. Starting us off with number 10 is Death Therapy with Melancholy Machines. This is something a little bit different, as you probably could tell from the artwork. It was not what I was expecting to come out next from Death Therapy. Admittedly, I'm not a massive Death Therapy fan. I do love Jason Wisdom's work. I really like Becoming the Archetype, even though I probably don't listen to them enough. I do want to listen to their discography more regularly. But Death Therapy has always been an interesting thing. I really loved Voices that came out in 2019. I loved the artwork. There was just so much cool stuff going on in that album. Melancholy Machines, they decided to go a completely different direction from the sound that they had before, and thus going from Solid State now to an official Tooth and Nail release. There was so much weird stuff going on this album. I really don't know how to describe it, but in one of my reactions I did mention it being like industrial jazz rock, and that's really the best way I know how to describe it. So here's a clip from Death Therapy's new album, Melancholy Machines. Number 9, Anima Mortem, I think is how you say it. Look at that artwork. Oh, it is so sick. Their new album, The Throne, came out in this quarter, and you guys know I'm not a black metal fan or really a fan of all these extreme styles. I'm kind of getting into it a little bit more, but this album was really good. I really liked it. There was really some cool, different things going on in it. But yeah, this being a mix of death metal and black metal, not my favorite style, but there was some good production, and that is really what needs to happen more with this particular genre, in my opinion. If you want more people to listen to it, if you want more, they got the artwork nailed here, and with this particular album, the production is pretty solid. Again, I would probably go a little bit more, with just a little bit more polish, a little bit more oomph, but what is in this album is far superior to many in the genre. So I dug it. It was a surprise, but it lands in my top 10 of Q2. Just before we hop into the next one, I have this little disclaimer. Guys, it's so hard in this scene and whatever to talk about bands that are a Christian band or aren't a Christian band. Everything that I share, I tend to try my best to make sure that these guys are as solid as at least in what we can see. Obviously, people have issues and blah blah blah. You can go. We'll talk about this stuff more in the future, but just a disclaimer: there's a couple more bands coming up that they don't go by the Christian label, but they're Christians behind the project. They speak about Christian themes, but they definitely shy away from the Christian title for their band or their artistry. So that being said, let's hop into number 8. The Undertaking. Funeral Psalms came out on Solid State Records. These guys are like a chaotic hardcore band with different genre elements and influences. And I actually listened to an interview with the vocalist on the Black Sheep podcast. It's a pretty interesting podcast. There is some language in it. Fair warning. There is some language on this album, so to speak. They deal with some pretty dark and heavy themes, but they kind of themed the album around the Psalms and how the Psalms are a lament to God and crying out to God about many different things. And so that was kind of the theme that they went with this album. It is dark. It's kind of depressing in certain ways. There was some really cool music in here, and I'm sure anybody a fan of the scene probably will find something to dig. If you're a Chariot fan, if you're maybe like early Norma Jean or some stuff like that, I think you'll dig this album. Why'd you follow me to my grave? Passing time beside my tomb. Blood against the drug you take. Why are you here? This is all I am. Flowers were nice touch. How'd you guess my shade? Sorry to disappoint. Time for a quick bonus, guys. Mangled Carpenter, Under the Shadow. This is a new grindcore release, and again, not generally into this style, but the artwork is pretty cool. That drew me in. These guys have a little bit tighter production than most, even though there's some issues still that I would point out. But overall, it was a cool listening experience, and it's probably something I might check out once more or a couple times more this year. We'll see. Ocean Dark, Hope and Chaos. Really cool hard rock, alternative metal release. These guys are from Finland and they have a cool sound, cool vibe. Not too much else like this in the scene, but you can definitely see some hints of bands like Red in these guys. But they have some really cool, sick riffs throughout the album. Really good lyrical content. Yeah, I really dug this one, and I was surprised.
Days go by, autopilot, state of mind, step outside to feel.
Number 6 is Fearless, a new EP from the band From the Ash, and these guys are heavily influenced by Red, but they have some really cool songs. We actually featured one of their tracks, the title track from the EP, Fearless, on the For the Rock compilation. More on that in just a moment. But yeah, this is a super solid, polished hard rock release. Again, really cool, catchy choruses and cool riffs. Definitely check this one out. You can't go wrong with art like that.
Ready for the fight, the battle of my life. Fearless, I can face the battle that's in front of me. Fearless, I won't be overcome by the darkness. Push me farther.
All right, one more quick bonus for you guys. As I just kind of mentioned, For the Rock put out a compilation. We put out our first compilation album, and it's called Songs of Hope for a New Era. You guys have probably heard me talk about it, but if you are new and watching this, link in the description down below. You can go download this album for free or pay what you want on Bandcamp. I really hope it blesses you. This is the first of hopefully many compilations that I do here at For The Rock. Again, thank you to every band for being on it. There's so much awesome, talented artists spreading the word for Christ around the world. Number 5, Searching Serenity, The Struggles of the Earthly Ones. This is a deathcore release. Super cool. This was a really solid, full-length deathcore album. Great production, great music. The lyrics, all these songs are so dark and heavy, but through it all is a message for Christ, and that's what really counts. So definitely be sure to go bang your head. Number 4, We Are Victory, Afterglow. This is a huge one, even for me personally. I got to do the artwork for this release. There are physical copies coming out shortly that I just helped work on the inner booklet and the rest of the graphics on the CD. So it's huge. I love this album. There was so much cool stuff. It is a metalcore with electronic influences album. It might not be your thing, but I would definitely say give it a try. There's a lot of good lyrical content throughout and a lot of different interesting things, and you don't really see this kind of metalcore too often these days. So definitely go check out Afterglow by We Are Victory. Here is a music video, which you can actually find the full thing here on For The Rock. Number 3. Oh my goodness, this is where it gets insanely good. Prologue by Moth Altar. This is their debut, absolutely monstrous EP. I have a full reaction video. There's so much I could say about this, but the artwork is absolutely killer, amazing. These guys are really nice dudes. I had the pleasure of talking with Franco, the vocalist of the band, and as well as I've talked a lot with Aaron, the drummer, who also drums for Whom I Serve. There is so much I could say about this EP, but it is so cool and so different, and definitely one to check out.
I found my reason
Quickly, I want to remind you, if you guys have gotten this far and you enjoy this video, hit that like button, and if you're new, hit that subscribe button with the bell notification. It's so awesome to have you guys here, and thank you so much for joining me. Quick little bonus, August Burns Red released Leveler. The 10th anniversary edition is a full re-recording, everything, remaster, remix, everything was redone. It is so interesting to hear this album done with what their modern sound is, because they have changed quite a bit, like with the tones that they use and Jake's vocals and everything. Again, August Burns Red, one of those bands, definitely are vocal. They're not a Christian band. Half the band doesn't seem to claim Christianity at all, but this was released back in 2011 originally, and at the time they still kind of went under that title, so I thought it was relevant, but that was the caveat. I didn't feel comfortable actually putting this in, mainly because it's not an entirely new release. If you guys have heard the original, there is so much new stuff here to check out as well, and the new cover is awesome as well. Number 2. This was so hard. I would say that 1 and 2 are arguably interchangeable. A thing with this video is that this is kind of just something I can go back on and look to at the end of the year and really help me narrow down where I'll get my final top 10 of 2021 list from. This was so difficult. It's funny that this was like the pressure of choosing my number 1 album of the year. It is possible that I did have to pick this, but guys, interchange these top 2 if you want. There's a couple points on either side that I would give to each band here, but I had to be fair as much as I possibly could to what I personally think, between my personal enjoyment of it and then also how good I actually think it is. Intercessor with their debut EP, Sola. So many new great artists coming around right now. It is awesome. I will say I'm going to dock them points just a hair on the artwork. It's just a little lackluster in my opinion. It's not bad by any means, just a little bit boring, but the music is incredible. This is progressive metalcore, gent, so much really cool stuff. I love the sound that these guys have. Their lyrical content is so good. The EP/album is based on the 5 solas, and they definitely dig into a lot of theological content here. Definitely go check this out. This is an incredibly solid debut. The mixing and master, everything is on point sound-wise. Guys, I think you know what number 1 is. That's right. Convictions, I Won't Survive. Wow. This is definitely one of the most come back to albums that I've had. Just the amount of times I've listened through this album it's so good. It's pretty mind-blowing. Especially most of these bands are doing everything independently, so it's so cool to see what you're able to accomplish these days in this industry. And these guys pulled out all the stops. They have amazing music videos. They have a really good theme for the album as a whole, like where they went with the lyrics. It is dark. They deal with very difficult subjects like suicide, PTSD, loss, and yeah, there's so much stuff here. The overall quality and what they did, like they experimented so much with all the different ways to use guitars and just write music. It was so incredible and different. And as I was saying before, Intercessor with Sola, I would arguably interchange these 2 albums musically. They're both amazing. I don't know, maybe at the end of the year I'll be more solid on one. But Intercessor, literally have had 3 or 4 days with since, as I'm recording this. And Convictions I've had for, a couple months. Yeah, both of these are incredible. Check them out. If you're going to check out anything, check out these top 2. But check them all out. There's so much good stuff here. And let's take a quick look at one of the music videos from Convictions.
I sleep with my eyes wide open. I blame myself. I
right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. That was fun, huge. I am dying right now in sweat. It's so gross and humid and muggy. It's like 80 degrees Fahrenheit in here right now. I'm normally in Celsius, but some of our stuff's in Fahrenheit. I don't get Canada. We have Fahrenheit and Celsius. It makes no sense. But all my American friends are always like, what is 30 degrees Celsius? I can't look on Google to figure it out. You have to calculate it for me. Anyways, I am losing it. I am done. I need to go take a cold shower. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Check out all these bands. Go support them. There's so much to listen to and check out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless. Stay safe. We will see you soon.